You are capable of winning races, but you can't do it alone. It's time to elevate your game to the next level with RMR Driving Academy. Richard Murtaugh is the longest-running setup builder on iRacing with nearly a decade of experience. With a combined 13,000 rating across 2 accounts, Murtaugh has helped more than 20 drivers advance to the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Log on to rmrdrivingacademy.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram.
Good Tuesday evening, everybody. Welcome to the Digital Sim Sports Network, part of the Dirt Racing Network, and live coverage. The ERA AMP Grading and Excavating Late Model Stock Car Series tonight. Iowa Speedway, big, wide, fast, racy track. Smaller field than we were expecting. The guys are going to do twin 30-lap features nonetheless. We'll have a little bit more warm-up session here. We'll have a qualifying session. And then we will have our first of 2 30-lap feature races. How they finish in that race, they will invert the top 7 and line them up and do it all again for 30 or more laps. So, a little break in between, chance to work on cars, guys figure some things out, and they'll get right back out here and get after it. You have got just a few minutes to get your over-unders in. You have until the car rolls off for feature number 1. We're going to count total cautions over both races tonight. Adam Vinny with the goose egg? Wow. All right, I got you down. 2 for the whole night, Jay. I'll take that bet. You know me, I'm going to put myself on number 7 just because I always do. I know that Bill and Jane both got their handy-dandy prizes. What? All 3? Wait, now, come on now. Adam, you can't change your mind that much. Worse than a woman. No offense, Jane. Adam, you said how many overall? 3? All right, so I'm taking you off of 0. We've never had 0 cautions, I don't think. Yeah, if we don't have a DSRL admin meeting, I might. I just might. Thank you, Jane. Guys are doing their pit party warm-up stuff right now. So about 55 seconds plus the qualifying session. And then however long it takes them to get onto the grid for feature number 1 is how long you will have to get your over, under, in. Oh, yeah, it's always total for the night, buddy. We don't ever have heat races. And what they're going to do is a 30-lap heat race. And then they're going to invert the top 7 out of that for the second show. So 60 total laps, 2 30-lap segments. At 11 drivers showed up, and I haven't seen Pete Dillon make a lap on the track, and I'm wondering if he is having some type of electronic issue. I no longer see him in the chat. Actually, I do see him in the chat. I just don't know why he's not on the racetrack. So we'll see. Practice session's over. It is time for qualifying. It means you're running out of time to get your over-unders in. Bill took 5. Have you guys tried your cups for hot and or cold? I know how long mine works, and I've been buying them from this guy for about the last 7 years. I probably have 30 different ones. Drives my wife crazy because I use a different one every day, and they fill up a rack in the dishwasher. So she really gets on me about it. But I have got it to keep ice for nearly 36 hours, and I've had it to keep hot for about 10. Some of that will depend on the conditions that you put them in. Like if you take something really cold out in the blazing heat, you may not get that 36. You might get, 24. But if you took something really, really hot and took it out in a super cold, like below zeros, it may not stay hot that long. But all right, right now, John Payette, 2488, the time to beat. And here comes Dylan Connor. Multi-time winner, multi-time champion in the series. Marvin Turnmeyer jumped to the top. Connor's 4th quick right now. Turnmeyer at a 2486. He and Payette super close. Super close on time. It says 0-0 there, but it is a 100th of a second and some change is what it is. Joey Connor just rolling out. Dylan Connor across the stripe. We'll see where he moves to. He goes to the top, 24.78 for the 91 car now. It says the 90 on the program, but it's the 8 on the racetrack. One of the last couple because Pete Dillon just rolled out. So we will see all 11 cars qualify. Connor was ninth quick on lap 1. Lap 2 moves into the top, 24.74 for the 8 car. There's that car that I really, really enjoy watching so much. I can sit here and look at that car every frame tonight and not be upset. First time by, Pete Dillon was 7th quick. We'll see where he times in this time out of 3 and 4. Car looks like it's pretty stable. Dillon, 95, no movement in his position, but he did pick a touch up on his time. So, qualifying. Well, Gary Baldwin has not qualified. I don't think he can. He's a triple-digit car. I think he has to start at the back. So, we are just waiting. Here we go. Now we're going to get our
screen is live, everybody, for our BF Hammers Lucky 7 redraw. Definitely putting the hammer down there. The 90 of Joey Connor. Nice lap. Not far behind there. Connor front row, but with the redraw here, we'll hit the old randomize button 3 times, and how they finish after that is where everybody will start. So clicking number 1, click number 2, and finally number 3. So that'll put the 88 of Eddie on the pole. To his outside to be the 7 of Dylan. Row 2 be the 5 of Payette, and the 91 of Dylan Connor. Row number 3, the 16 of Turnmeyer, and the 81 of Werdeman, and then the 90 of Joey Connor with the BF Hammers Lucky 7 redraw. That's our redraw. We'll have a driver's meeting. Shouldn't take long, but we'll get ready to grid here in just a minute.
All right, folks, you heard it. Redraw is done. ... Yeah, okie dokie, buddy. You know, I heard they were going bankrupt and they're trying to change their image. I heard they were going to change the name of the whole chain and take the girls out of those little orange, let's call them shorts. I don't really know what to call them. I don't know where I heard that, but I heard that recently, like within the last week I heard that. They want it to be more family friendly, and I'm thinking, man, you know, what better place to take, you know, your preteen or teenage son to get him introduced? I don't know. Maybe that's not good parenting. Hell, I don't know. So, race 1, the first of our 2 30-lap features is going to be Eddie and Dylan on the front row, Payette and Connor in row 2, Turnmeyer and Werdeman teammates side by side, and then Joey Connor starting 7th. Everybody behind that. Well, you know, I got to say, I think Applebee's, the food is slightly better. No, there's people that love going to Hooters. I never went for the food. Kind of went for the entertainment and the atmosphere, or the scenery and the atmosphere, whatever you want to say. Because I did not think their food was very good at all. And I think Applebee's is a step above that for sure. So we don't have Applebee's around here anymore. They closed them all down. So we're just waiting. I think the guys are in a driver's meeting real quick, and then they're going to get out here for 30-lap race number 1. How they finish in this race, they'll invert that. Top 7 anyway, they'll invert that, and then they'll go at it again for 30 more laps. So Here we go. Vincent, go for the fried pickles. All right. Well, we're advancing the session. We're getting ready to get this thing kicked off here. They'll rearrange on that pace lap. Be a quick grid for you tonight. We know that first 7 cars is going to shuffle all around because Matt Eddy and Pete Dillon will move to the front row with John Payette and Dylan Connor in row 2, Marvin Turnmeyer and Jeff Orderman in row 3, and then Joey Connor will start in row 4 next to Josh Westendorf. Barry Hines and John Brenner will stay the same, and Garrett Baldwin will tag the rear of the field. Just waiting on them all to roll off. Soon as that pace truck rolls, over-under is ended. So if you haven't gotten it in, you better get it into the chat immediately. Let's get a look at Matt Eddy's car. See that black good wrench machine move right up there to the front row. Go for the fried. I read that. Go for the fried pickle. I don't know. I just didn't like their food very much. Just one of them things. Now, I do like going to Twin Peaks, but I actually like their food. I think as the years have gone on, the girls wear less and less at Twin Peaks. It's damn near a strip show there. So. All right, we've got them shuffled up, ready to go. Man, look at that. A little homage to days gone by. Oh, Dale Earnhardt and Alan Kowicki. Front row. What a sight that is. All right, 30 laps, feature number 1. We will have a few minutes in between. And then we'll get feature number 2 with an invert. But that pace truck is going to duck out of here any moment now. We're going to come to the green. There goes the pace truck. We're going to get to that restart zone. The green flag right at the beginning of the zone, and we're going to get a beautiful start out of this. Side by side, nobody has a big advantage. Dillon on the top was ahead getting in the corner, but the shorter radius is going to bring Matt Eddy alongside. It's all about 3 and 4. And Eddy powers it down into the center of the corner. He'll clear Pete Dillon. Dillon's going to look to move to the inside. These two are going to go at it right away. I see that Dylan Connor has put himself down on the inside, moved to the left of John Payette there. 2 by 2 through the first 2 rows. Turnmeyer, the first car, singled out by himself. But I do not want to take my eyes off the battle right here at the front. And Eddy's going to lead lap number 2 as well, but I think it's a matter of time now. Single file behind your 2 leaders. Oh, Marvin Turnmeyer's car took a hard right there. Caution. Marvin Turnmeyer somehow that car took a hard right and a hard left. And then he ends up with Joey Connor on top of him. Boy, those two, they're going to start near the back or at the back of tonight's second feature, and they're going to have a long road to hoe there. Yeah. Was Jay at that bachelor party? Because there's got to be some kind of evidence. Jeff Werdeman's going to take the 81 car down for attention. Both the right and front left corners are mashed up on that one. Left side is really bad. He's got it mashed down to the left front tire there. So he'll take it down, go in, see if there's anything at all that they can do. I see Joey Connor. They got it up on the jacks on the left side. Pre-J. Well, the stories may not be quite as good then. I don't know. I mean, so you start with 11. We put 3 in the pits real quick. 2 of them may be terminal. We'll have to wait and see. I don't see either one of those cars looking like they are making an attempt to get back out. I think Werdeman is just trying to get some fender pulled out, and he'll probably rejoin this thing at the back, see if there's anything he can do. But that is caution number 1 in show number 1 on lap number 3. And 0 would have been busted really quick there, Mr. Vinny. All right, Joey Connor. Not coming back out for sure. We're going to look and see. Turnmeyer's sitting there. I don't know. That car might have engine issues, but Werdeman did get back out, and the car looks pretty good. So we're going to get them doubled up right here. Matt Eddy's going to go to the high side. Joey Connor is not coming back to the racetrack. But there comes Barry Hines. He is going to rejoin. He got a little bitty piece of that, and I think he just went in to double check, make sure he didn't have anything rubbing. But he is going to pull up here to the back of this field. And we're going to get ready to restart. Still 28 laps.
Green, green, green.
Good restart. Especially for Pete Dillon. Boy, he got that thing through the gears quickly. And he shot down to the bottom of turn 1 and clears everybody. We're single file through the top 4 now. Now through the top 5. 6th and 7th are side by side, and that didn't last long. Baldwin got the car into the corner, got a little out of shape. Ooh, Brunner. John Brunner wagging his tail coming out of turn number 4 on the high side. Got it back up underneath him. Going to sit right there in 6th, at least for the time being. We'll go back to the front because Mr. Dillon, with a great restart, now out in front of Matt Eddy and Dylan Connor. Pyatt, Westendorf, Brunner. Werdeman still trying to work around John Brunner, but just can't get close enough. I think he got there this past lap. They got down to turn 1. It looked like the nose washed out on that car a little bit, maybe dirty air. Battle for the lead. Matt Eddy pulled to the inside in 3 and 4. He'll be there getting into 1 and 2. Too much momentum through the middle right now. Dillon's going to maintain. Eddie's got to be careful because Dylan Connor is creeping up there. He may be able to use the same momentum that Pete Dillon is using. He may take 2nd away from Matt Eddy. Still side by side coming out of 2. Top 3 breaking away from John Payette and company. Side-by-side battle. Now Werdeman working on Brunner. Going to try to get 6th away from him, and he's cleared him now. So that battle pretty much going to be over here coming up out of turn number 2. And Werdeman will move into the 6th spot. A little further back here, Barry Hines and Gary Baldwin just look like they're kind of cruising right now. Waiting to see if anything's going to happen up here at the front as we start to fan out. Now Dylan Connor gets around Matt Eddy. John Payette is trying to take a peek, get underneath the 88 car. Well, DJ, why aren't you in here racing, DJ? You're one of the cars that I know was missing. The 22 wasn't here. Single file them out through the top 5 right now. Pete Dillon still out front. Dylan Connor got around Matt Eddy. Now about 4 car lengths separate first and second. Matt Eddy is right there. John Payette a couple of cars behind him, and Josh Westendorf got himself in the top 5 solidly tonight. Now, just consider that it's like being a weatherman. You're going to be right half the time. So we're going to be 18 to go. We're nearly halfway. 3-4 laps short right now of being halfway in this double feature. And I see Dylan Connor starting to do those Dylan Connor things. He is getting out of that line, getting into the corners, so he can cut that car down and make that late run down on the bottom, the exit of turn number 2. He goes in about a half to 3/4 of a car width higher into the corner. This time doesn't cut the car down. I don't think he was close enough to make that work. And he's heady enough driver to know that. Top 4 staying in a tight group here. Now he'll try to take it to the bottom. Just a good amount of momentum for that 7 car. And Pete Dillon, he's able to fend these guys off right now. We're coming around. It's going to be halfway in feature number 1. Save the first couple of laps that Matt Eddy and Pete Dillon were side by side. Dillon has been able to get out front and keep the 7 car there. Big gap between 4th place Payette and what is now a 5th place Jeff Werdeman, who just got around Westendorf. Looking at a full second between Payette and Werdeman there. Dylan Connor alongside. Got a run out of 2. Just kept doing what he does. He goes in a little wider, cuts the car down, gets a big run on the exit. And eventually he pulls alongside, and now I think it's just a matter of time before the 91 will clear the 7. And that time very close, and I think Dillon took the air off the right side of the car. Dillon with the crossover on the front stretch as Dylan Connor led his first lap this evening. Matt Eddy's going to tuck in behind Pete Dillon here. Keep the lead in the 91's hands. He is getting great runs at the exit of turn 4. Nobody really has been able to do anything on the high side down there. And now we're seeing the 91 car make it work. He may be showing some people something here. Now Connor gets to the point all by himself, nothing side by side. Dillon to second, Eddie is third, Payette is fourth, and Werdeman is starting to creep in on these guys. He's cut it down a couple of tenths. Nine to go, and it's still Dillon Connor, but Pete Dillon is not giving up on this. He is right there, right up under that spoiler. And I think he thought he was going to get into the back of him, and he rolled off the throttle just a tick. And he lost about a car length. Trying to keep the pressure on. And now they're playing the draft game. Break the draft. Connor knows he's got to do something to put a gap between himself and that 7 car. He may have a shot at the end. Pete Dillon, that is, getting by. Now he's opened it up to about half a dozen car lengths. 7 to go, and he is just going to weave around on the front stretch and break the draft. And every time he does, he gets another car length. Second, third, and fourth. Still pretty tight together. Six to go. Dillon Connor out in front. Took the lead about 4 laps ago from Pete Dillon, and he has started to really stretch it out now. He broke the draft a couple of laps in a row there on the front stretch. And now, 91 car, easing his way away. He's going to have to start 7th in the second half of this feature. So, wave lap that time, 5 to go. Nothing has changed. Werdeman is still 5th. Westendorf is 6th, but he's fallen way off as Werdeman has now run Payette down. And with just a couple of laps to go, we may see a change for the 4th spot. Then it's Brunner, Baldwin, and Hines at the back. Matt Eddy taking a look at Pete Dillon. He couldn't get to the inside, but Werdeman gets to the inside of Payette. Seven-tenths of a second, first to second now. That's a long ways. There's the gap right there, 3 to go. Jeff Werdeman is the fastest car on the track by a lot. Just not able to run these guys in front down. He hasn't been able to sniff that draft up. 2 to go. First of 2 features. Double features tonight, 30 laps each. At the end of this one, we'll give the guys a break. We'll get ready to re-rack them for another 30 here. We'll invert part of the field. White flag for the 91 of Dillon Connor. Pete Dillon trying to hang on and stay in second. Last set of corners. If Eddie's going to do something, he's going to have to pull out a line. I think he's content to just finish this one out and figure out what he's going to do for session number 2. But Dillon Connor will win the first of the twin 30s tonight. Pete Dillon second, Matt Eddy, Jeff Werdeman, John Payette, Josh Westendorf, John Brunner, Gary Baldwin, and Barry Hines, the last of the cars on track, and then Joey Connor, Marvin Turnmeyer with an incident on lap number 2, and both drivers unable to finish tonight's first event. So we'll re-rack them. Those guys will be back in action. Let's grab There he is. Let's grab him real quick. Hey, Dylan Connor, you got a copy. Dylan Connor, you got a copy.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. 2 features tonight. You start kind of in the middle on the redraw, about 4th there. You're going to win the first one. I think now you got to start in the 7th position, if I'm not mistaken. And what is that going to change about your approach to this other 30-lap feature?
It's not going to change too much. It's going it's going to be just like the first race, really. Only 30 laps. You got to get all you can get every lap. Might hurt tires a little bit more having to start that much farther back, but we're going to give her all she got anyway.
Looked like you got up there. You took 3 or 4 laps to size up what Pete Dillon was kind of doing, what line he was running, and then you started doing the same thing I see you do week in and week out. You'll enter that corner just a little wider than everybody else and get that cut down going. It's only a matter of time then. How long did it take you to size that up?
Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated here with the draft playing a big part. You know, you kind of gotta make sure you really have a big run to be able to pull the pass off and, you know, not rough nobody up. But yeah, it's, like I said, it picked him off through the corner and kind of seen where his weak point was, and it paid off in the end.
Well, an awesome run, man. Good luck in session number 2. Thanks for taking a moment here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Winner of feature number 1 tonight, the 91 of Dylan Connor. Let's get another driver. We're gonna ask him 2 questions real quick. Marvin Turnmeyer, you got a copy? Marvin Turnmeyer. Well, shoot, he's not there, folks. I don't know where he's at. We'll try to get him back here in just a couple of minutes. Jeff Werdeman, you got a copy?
I do. What's going on, Roger?
Well, the 81 car was looking pretty good. You made a pretty good run through the field after that little bit of contact on lap number 2. And I think you were the fastest car on the track the last 4 or 5 laps, but you ran out of time and not enough real estate.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I was faster. Some of the stats and gauges that I have tell me my last 5 versus everybody else. The only one I wasn't faster than was Dylan. But I found something once I finally got around, tried. That's what I like about running tracks like here at Iowa. You can run a slightly different line to try to see where your car is better for your driving style. And yeah, if it was 40 laps, I still don't think I would have done maybe one more position. It's just so hard to pass going this fast.
Well, it looks like the second feature, you're going to start kind of in the middle of that front 7 group right there. So a quick run to the front and then try to hold them off, or are you going to bide your time and try to save some tires and do it late?
Well, I'm right there in the thick of the briar patch, that's for sure. So we'll see how many thorns I get trying to at least get myself clear and kind of play it from there. I think you get to the front and try to hold it. That's what I really honestly think you do. If I got the horses to do it, then giddy up and ride.
All right, my man. Well, thanks for taking a moment to chat with us. Good luck in that second session.
Thank you, Roger. Hopefully we'll talk again.
Jeff Werdeman in the 81 car. Only a handful of these guys taking some time to get out here. They're kind of in a group, and it's that same group that we saw, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th from that first feature. They're going to have to start back there a little bit deeper. It's going to be, 5th, 6th, and 7th for the top 3. Werdeman will start right in front of that. And then Payette's going to be able to start a little closer to the front. And he was really good till the last handful of laps of that race. The car really fell off. So maybe a little clean air. Maybe he can pace himself a little different. We might see the 5 car make a little bit of a splash here in this second 30-lapper. So we only got the 1 caution. And we are still not exactly sure what happened in that first caution. We saw the 16 car come off of the corner, and it looked like he started to drift to the right, and then all of a sudden went kind of left. And I don't know if he got tapped that made him go left, but he'll be able to get out here, get the 16 back on track. Got another 30 laps. Look at this lineup. Going to have to work hard if you're going to the front here. It's going to be the 46 of John Brunner with the pole. Josh Westendorf in the 92 on his outside. Then fifth from that first feature, John Payette in the 5 car next to Jeff Werdeman in the 81. Matt Eddy, the 88, the early leader in that first feature. He gave way to the 7 of Pete Dillon, and Dillon will start next to him in that third row. And then the eventual winner, the 91 of Dylan Connor next to the 157 of Gary Baldwin. The 57 of Barry Hines and the 16 of Marvin Turnmeyer in that fifth row. And Joey Connor in the 8 is Shotgun Charlie for this one. And we're just waiting for a couple of cars to grid out. These guys will get ready to roll off. I think those two could, I don't know, maybe they can't come back. Maybe that's why neither one of them's on the track, because I think the pace truck's rolling off. Wow. No fixie, no finishy. And I did not see that coming at all. So, 30 more laps. Only 9 of them making it to show number 2. Lights out on the pace truck. That means we're going green the next time. Twin 30-lap features with a nice invert. You heard some of the guys say that the draft plays a part. I guess maybe a couple of those guys at the front maybe want to try to work a deal out, get nose to tail, and see if they can get away while everybody else scrambles for position. Hope you don't catch cautions and just stay there and battle it out between yourselves the last handful of laps. So pace truck will get out of the way. We're getting ready to go green.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Another good side-by-side start. Just like the first feature. See how long these guys are patient. Some of these faster cars at the back are going to want to giddy up and go pretty quickly. We're already seeing somebody peek their nose in the middle, thinking about 3 wide down the backstretch. Cold tires, cold racetrack, cars weaving and bobbing, a little bit of contact here and there. Everybody keeps them facing forward, and the group tightens up just a little bit. I saw the 46 of Brunner wiggle a little out of 4. Payette reacted to that, and that ended up with Werdeman having to take evasive action, but everybody survived. So we'll come around to lap 2. Westendorf will lead them. The top 3 are single file. They're not double wide until we get back here to Matt Eddy and Jeff Werdeman. And I think that's just a matter of time before that gets to single file. But Werdeman's going to make a run. The door's opened. There goes Pete Dillon. And now Barry Hines is taking a peek as well. Dillon trying to work the inside on John Brunner. Brunner's got damage on the right front. I don't know what he hit, but the right front of Brunner's car. Look, yeah, he's got the right front fender caved in already. Pretty early for that kind of action. Westendorf, Payette, Eddy, and Dillon are the top 4 now. Brunner is 5th by himself, but he's about to have company, it looks like. Werdeman side by side with Hines, and that's not leaving a lot of racing room for the 91 of Dylan Connor. He's just looking for a lane to clear so he can start to make some moves. We're already down to 25 to go. Looks like the top side maybe gaining a small advantage because Werdeman used it to get around Hines, and now Dylan Connor will pull alongside up the front stretch, and he may be able to clear the 57 as well. They get single file, he'll get to racing them, I guarantee it. Look at the front. Here comes Matt Eddy working on John Payette for the lead. They're 2 wide behind that. Westendorf up top and Pete Dillon in the 7 car down on the bottom. Payette fighting him off on the top side, not giving up the spot easily. This isn't one of those tracks where you can just afford to let a guy get in line in between you and another car. If you got a chance to move him way back, you got to do it because passing is very difficult. You can see it took 3 or 4 laps for Matt Eddy to finally clear Payette. Westendorf going to try to stay tucked in behind the 7 car. Follow him down through the corner, and he's trying to get around Payette. Here comes Werdeman on the inside of Brunner finally. And the door is open. I think Dylan Connor is going to use that open door, and he's going to continue to try to follow right through. Once he gets up there to about that top 5 or 6, then he'll start going at some of these other guys. He just doesn't want to be in too many 2-wides. And every time he sees one in front of him, he's just have to be patient, let it sort itself out, and then go and get them. Hopefully they don't stay 2 wide for very long, and they do not because Payette clears Westendorf, and now it's a single file line back to the top 6. Brunner's just slightly off of Connor. If he could stay right there, he might be able to draft back to him. That damage on the right front, hopefully, isn't going to slow the 46 down too much. Eddy to the point. Dylan second. Payette fell back to 3rd and got in line in front of Westendorf. Werdeman and Connor. Now Werdeman under fire because Connor got to the inside down here in 1 and 2. He knows the laps are ticking off, and he knows when he's got to go. He'll pick up the spot, move him to 5th. Now he's got Westendorf right in front of him. Werdeman not going to give up on this. Good crossover right there coming out of 4. And he is going to make him work hard to get that spot and keep it. No changes at the front. Top 3 in lockstep with one another. I mean, Matt Eddy looks like he's trying to get away from these guys, get out of the draft, and just run away and hide, but I don't know if he can. Watching that battle there, 5th and 6th, they're staying side by side. That time Werdeman up the hill a little, and he's probably going to have to yield a spot because he had to roll off the throttle a little bit. Stay out of that left rear corner on the 91. Definitely didn't want that. He wanted to stay there and battle. 0.6 of a second between Matt Eddy in first and Pete Dillon in second right now. .4 back to John Payette, and then it's another 0.6 to Dylan Connor in fourth. Matt Eddy. Nice and easy, good and smooth. He's the fastest car on the track still. Just over 0.5 a lap faster. 12 laps remaining. We see a split in these features. Gap between third and fourth is closing a little bit. Gap between fourth and fifth has opened up. Werdeman got around Westendorf finally, and he's starting to ease past him, but he's not catching up to the 91 of Connor. Got to get a little closer, pull that draft, and really suck up on the back end of the 91. We're going to be 10 to go already. It's 1.3 seconds from first to fourth. And Connor tucked in behind the 5 of Payette. Payette's keeping him honest. He's driving it hard on the outside. It's a battle for third place. Just not fully clear. Now Dylan Connor pulls in front of the 5. Move him to third place. He started 7th. 8 laps to go. He's got to make up 1.4 seconds. Two toughest customers in the room so far tonight, right in front of him. Pete Dillon in the 7, and then it's a little ways out to Matt Eddy. 7 laps remaining. Now Dylan Connor's the fastest car. He's catching some draft off the 7, and he's able to make up some time. He's got it down to 1.25 seconds. 6 laps to go. 1/10 a lap is not going to get him there. He's going to have to be considerably faster than that. And that time almost mirrors for the top 3. 97, 91, and flat 25. Dylan Connor got to within a couple of car lengths of Pete Dillon, and he is kind of stalled out right there. Payette is still 4th, but Werdeman is right there closing in on him. He may take that spot away. Maybe 2 4th-place finishes for Jeff Werdeman here this evening. 4 laps remaining this time by, and it's still 1.1 seconds first to third, but Pete Dillon just a little shy of a second behind, and he's got all kinds of a mirror full of the 91. And now Dylan Connor will try to roll it deep into the corner. He had to give a little space right there. 3 to go. The gap is a second. First 2 seconds, then a couple of car lengths from second to third, and that's closing up down the backstretch. 2 to go this time by. Now they're side by side for second. Coming around to take the white flag, and it looks like Matt Eddy on cruise control. 1 1/4 seconds out in front of this battle right here, the final 2 podium spots. Pete Dillon trying to fend off the 91. It's almost a clearing for Dylan Connor right there. Pete Dillon's going to have to drive it hard in 3 and 4 if he's going to keep second place. Matt Eddy easily going to win feature number 2 tonight. And Pete Dillon, Dylan Connor will get it. Maybe not. 2 1/100ths of a second. Pete Dillon grabs second and puts Connor back to third. Wardeman was fourth, Payette, Brunner, Westendorf, and Hines through 8th. Then Baldwin in 9th place. Only 9 cars in the second feature. All right, so we're going to try to talk to these 3 guys this time. Dylan Connor, you there, bub?
Yes, sir.
All right, man, a first and a third, and once you got clear of Werdeman and Payette, it just looked like maybe there wasn't a lot left in those tires to go up there after those front 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I still had some speed in them. I mean, off lap times, I was a little bit quicker than them 2 at the end, but just I think I used up enough tire to where it's the way the draft is and all. It was hard. Like Pete was able to still pull me on the outside, so I think I just used up a little too much tire coming from the rear. But I mean, it was a great night all in all to pull off 2 podiums and get a win out of one of them.
Yeah, and it looked like the racing was really good. And when you really got within about 0.7 of a second of the car in front of you, it looked like it really just almost like a turbo boost. And you just picked up so much speed and closed so fast. Sometimes that's either a big advantage or you're going to catch the guy at the exact wrong spot. And then it's just a struggle. Is that not right?
Yeah, it's all about timing here with the draft and everything. I mean, you could. Especially when the tires were off, you could get too much of a run down the straightaway behind somebody, and it'll cause you to push more into the corner. So it's all about timing. You had to adjust throughout the race where your line was and all that. And like I said, it was a solid night all in all, though. It was a great racing with Pete, and congrats to Matt on the second race.
All right, man. Well, this time around, give us some shout-outs, some thank yous before we let you get out of here.
Yes, sir. I want to thank you for being up in the booth for us as always. I want to thank Marv and Jeff for everything they do for the league. I want to thank Perrier Race Parts, Chris and Alan Perrier with Caldwell Banker Elite, and all my family and friends and fiance for supporting me.
All right, man. Congrats on a great night of racing, a first and a third. Can't hurt you in the points at all. We'll look forward to seeing you back next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dylan Connor finishing in third in feature number 2, and now he ran good in both sessions. He's going to come home with second right here in this second one. And Pete Dillon, you fought hard all night long, just not quite enough to get on the top of the podium tonight.
Nah, I was lacking a little bit. I had some electrical bugs going on before the race, so I didn't get any practice in. So everybody had a little advantage over me there. But all in all, it was a good run for a Ford. Ford powered with heavy stuff.
Well, I don't care. I love that paint on the car. I made a deal of it when I saw you out there making your practice laps. We got to watch you all night long, and we practically got to because you started up front in the first one, and you stayed there until the very end. This one, you battled to get there just a little bit, and then it was just late in the race. You really had to fend off a tough guy, and it looked like he might have had a little bit more, but you had an advantage because you were able to get that momentum on the top line.
Yeah, I seen with about 5 to go, I seen Dylan was about 3/10 behind me, and I grabbed my open face helmet, my crayons, and let her hang out a little bit, and I was able to hold him off. It was a good battle, good fun run.
Well, an awesome night tonight, man. Some shout-outs, some thank yous. We'll let you head out.
I just want to thank Marv and Jeff for all the work they do to keep this league running, and all the sponsors and everybody that stepped aboard. And you up in the booth for sure, like always, and my wife, Paula, for letting me do this.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us. Congrats on a great night. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir. And I also...
Oh, I dropped him. Whoops. Oh, go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry. I cut you off. I somehow moved us both out of the booth. I don't know how.
Oh, that's all right. I was just going to give a shout-out to my daughter, Chloe, too. She's always watching.
She was in the chat. I did see her name pop up in the chat. All right, that's Pete Dillon, folks. Sorry, I moved us into the channel. It was, I don't know. Sometimes magical things happen, and I don't even intend for them to happen, like moving everybody into the same channel at once. I don't know what's going on. Matt Eddy, you finally got back to victory lane, man, and it took a minute, but that 88 car, one, looks great, and two, looked really smooth all night long tonight.
Yeah, he had a pretty good run tonight. Got some stuff figured out in the first race, and second race went really smooth. Figured out line I needed to get through 1 and 2 right, and nailed it pretty good the whole second race.
Well, the first race you got out there, you led a little bit, then you fell back, and then pretty quick, there's that guy in the 91 car, and after that, it was just a struggle, kind of, it looked like, from up here to just maintain what you had so you could get a good starting spot in the second feature.
Yeah, I didn't get a good restart, and Pete got by me on that restart, and I kind of was okay riding behind him for a while. And then as the run got in and Dylan got up there and we got racing, it was, as the race went on, it was tougher and tougher to make moves, and towards the end we were just kind of locked where we were.
Were you paying attention to your relative and watching as the 91 crawled his way through the field?
A little bit. That second race, I kind of just got clear of everybody, and I got about a half a second on Pete by the time he got clear of John, and just kind of kept an eye on that. And then pretty soon, yeah, I saw the 91 pop up, and we got late enough. I figured Pete would hold them up enough for me to get to the end, as long as they didn't tangle with each other.
Well, yeah, no cautions in the second one, and you come home the winner in feature number 2, man. Give me some shout-outs and thank yous before we let you go.
Shout out and thank you to Marv and Jeff for putting this on all the time. It's not an easy task. Sometimes I know it seems like it's thankless, but appreciate what those guys do for us. My wife for letting me come down here and play at least, once a week. Have fun.
All right, man. Congrats on the win in show number 2, and I'll look forward to seeing you back here next week. Keep the paint on the car because I love it.
Thanks.
Matt Eddy, folks, he picks up the win in feature number 2. I'm going to go back quickly. We're going to go back and we're going to take a look at the results for feature number 1. Dylan Connor, Pete Dillon, Matt Eddy. Look at that. The same top 3, just in a reverse order. Then Jeff Werdeman was 4th, Payette 5th, Westendorf 6th, Brunner 7th, Baldwin was 8th, Hines 9th, Turnmeyer 10th, and Joey Connor 11th. Those two had an early exit, a lap 2 incident that got both of them on the hook, and they did not even get to compete in feature number 2. So now we'll look at feature number 2, and you'll see that top 3, well, just different order. Matt Eddy goes from 3rd to 1st. Pete Dillon with 2 second-place finishes. Great points tonight for him. Dylan Connor went from 1st to 3rd. Werdeman was still 4th, Payette 5th. Then Brunner, Westendorf, Hines, Baldwin through 9th. Turnmeyer and Connor will get credited with 10 and 11 because that's where they were in the first one, but they did not compete in the second show. That is going to do it for us here tonight, guys. I want to remind everybody about tomorrow night. Midwest Truck Series. They are going to be on the dirt, and we'll be back on the Dirt Racing Network for the Midwest Truck Series. They will be at Eldora. That's going to be a fun one. Short practice session for them. I had some discussion with the race officials earlier today, and they're going to shorten their practice session to a 15-minute session, then get out there with their heat races, put their feature on. We'll be here for it. Make sure you are as well. Come and say hi in the chat. And then Thursday night, Netcode Esports Mighty Midget, their double shows. They start at about 8:30 Eastern, so mark your calendars down for that. Thank you all for being here. Without you, there's no reason for us to do this. Without all the awesome leagues giving us fantastic racing like we saw again here tonight. There is nothing for us to cover. So the high fives, the pats on the back, I'll go all the way around for that. Till we see you the next time. Peace and love to everybody. You always got to keep the rough side facing down.